So there are two main patterns hiding inside your YouTube Studio analytics. The first one is those videos that people actually don't click on. And the second one is those videos that people click on, but they don't hang around to watch the entire video. If you fix one or both of these, you can fix your entire channel. So most of us open YouTube Studio and click on the Analytics tab and have a quick look through, but not actually sure of what we're looking at or how to interpret that data. That has all changed with the dawn of AI and these large language models. You can use them as a bit of a AI sparring partner, or even in this case, a YouTube business strategist. And in this video, I'm going to walk through what I do on a quarterly basis to try and identify what my YouTube analytics are telling me, so then I can plan out the next quarter of my content. And I've published over 300 videos on this channel, and I'm going to show you how a large language model interprets that data and then plans out the next set of videos for me. And I'm going to be using Claude in this example, but you can use whatever AI large language model that you want. So let's get straight into it. Here I am on Claude.ai. This is the web-based version, and I'm going to be doing this all in Claude Chat just to simplify everything. And you can either start off in chat, or if you followed any of my content previously, I would typically build out a project for this. So here in chat, I've just built out these 6 projects, and this is my YouTube content pipeline. What you need to do is, if you haven't got a project, start new project. But in this project here, you can give it a bit of a description, and then you can have some instructions in here, and anything you do chatting back and forth to Claude within this project, it's going to relate to all of this content. So you can upload files. So I have my brand Bible, my YouTube script template, and my content strategy, and it's going to update this as you go. So all I'm going to do is start a fresh chat within this project. So as this is the start of Q3 for this year, at time of recording this is what I would do on a quarterly basis. I would recommend you doing the same if you have an online business and you have a content strategy. So I would just talk to it and say, hey Claude, I'm looking at building out the next 13 videos for Q3. I would like you to help me in analyzing my YouTube Studio analytics. I'm going to be downloading the last couple of years of content. If you would like me to download all of my content, just say. I'd like you to give me the parameters to export into a CSV file, specifically what fields you would like me to export, so you can take a look at this, see which videos aren't getting a good click-through rate, see which videos aren't getting a good engagement, so then I can either identify those, address those there and then, but more importantly, do more of what's working and do less of what is not working. So all I've done then is use whisperflow.ai just to transcribe my ramblings just into a bit of context. And then you can say something like, please ask me any questions before we get going. Does this all make sense to you? It's entirely up to you how you engage with a large language model, but for me, this is by far the quickest way, and then I would just hit send. So Claude, I've been seeing some good results using Claude, and it's given me some great output data for me to take action on. It's going to take a little bit of time to think about its response, and I've asked it to challenge me with any follow-up questions. So that took about 15 to 20 seconds to come through, and it's actually given me a bit of a handrail on how to export from my YouTube Studio analytics if you don't already know how to do that. And then it's given me a couple of options here, the last 365 days or lifetime, and then it's given me some fields that it actually wants me to export so it can interrogate this data. Now, if you don't have many videos on your YouTube channel, that's fine. Just export what you have just to see if you can get any data from that analytics. But I've got over 300 videos, so I'm going to export the last year just to see what is working and what is not. So I'm just going to head over into my YouTube Studio dashboard. This is inside my YouTube Studio, and then I'm going to hit on the Analytics tab down the left-hand side, and then hit Advanced Mode. This is just going to pop open an advanced window for you. So all I'm going to do here now is make sure that this channel is selected, and then I'm going to go for 365 days, and then it's going to be the content. And then the metrics, I'm just going to scroll through here and make sure that they match up with all of the metrics that Claude has asked me to export. So that took me about 30 seconds to go through here and have a look what has been checked, what has been not checked off, and then going back and referencing anything with what Claude is asking for. And you can search for this. So for example, if you had watch time, this is a metric that it wants. Just copy that, and there's a little search function in here. You just paste in watch time, and this is watch time in hours that I've applied. Now, make sure you have everything that Claude is asking for, or whatever large language model. Hit apply, and then all you need to do is then go to the top right, and then this export the current view, and then it's going to give you two options. And I would recommend the comma separated values or .csv over the Google Sheets, because you can download that to your desktop and then upload that into the large language model of choice. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. Once I've exported it, I'll then go back in. That is exported as a zip. So then when I go to open my Finder, I'm going to have a look at my downloads, and then it's as a zip. I want to open this zip file and then have a look at what's inside. So I've got totals, chart data, and table data. So in order to know which one Claude wants, you can just say, hey Claude, which file would you like? I've got totals, chart data, or table data. And then hit return, and then it's responded with table data. So all you need to do now is click the little plus, add files, and then go into here, and this is the table data that it wants. So that's the CSV file that is going to recognize. So then you go, hey Claude, here you go. Here's the table data for my last 365 days. Please analyze. And then hit return, and then give it a little bit of time to analyze. Okay, so that took a couple of minutes. So at this stage, you could pause, go and get a cup of coffee, and then come back, let it run its thing. But it's actually unearthed some quite decent data, and it's challenging me on what content to create next. So my channel isn't carrying 330 videos, it's carrying about 10. So it's saying there's some real outliers here. One video, Google Gemini Gems, the 90% you should automate, did 22% of my views, 41 of my net subscribers, and 17 of my revenue in the last year. So this is a standout winner for me. It's saying that CTR, click-through rate, so the amount of clicks per views, isn't really the bottleneck. And identifying how many subscribers gained per 1,000 views is a good metric. So what's working? Do more of AI for solo businesses, Kajabi tutorials, YouTube channels, tool tutorials. And it's saying that there are two clear winners here: AI content, but a specific kind, and my Kajabi, how high they convert, those type of videos. So what's not working? Generic tool tutorials like my Loom tutorial. Do less of the generic and keep it on to my mission and vision. So it's flagged some things in our last 3 months of upload, and then it's asking me, do you want to plan the next 3 months of upload? But before it does that, it can either ask me to pull lifetime data, or it's just going to go from what we have here and plan my next 3 months. So you could at this point go back into YouTube and just take an export of all of your lifetime data. So click on lifetime and then click export. So you could go back into here, change this time to lifetime, and then just click export. Once that has run, that's going to be a really chunky document. Or you could just say, okay, I'm looking at the last 365 days and I want to plan my next 13 videos for the next 3 months of content. So let's just run with this now for exercise sake and just say, hey Claude, thanks for the readout. Let's go ahead and plan for Q3. Please give me 13 titles or 13 working titles that I can look at and analyze and use, potentially making 13 new videos for my channel. Once that's actually populated, then just click return. And once more, I'm going to pause this video as it thinks about a response. So that actually only took about 45 seconds. It's quite a quick response there. So it's given me 13 working titles for this next Q3. And actually some of them are pretty good. But as I say with any of this AI output data, this should be your start of a 10, or actually if you're getting it to do 80% of the grunt work, that 20% still needs a human in the loop to look over this. But actually some of these could inspire you to create a video that you actually didn't think of. And this is coming directly from your YouTube Studio Analytics. So how I actually run a one-person business with AI, my real workflow. I left a 16-year RAF career to build a one-person business. Here's what no one tells you, because that's an interesting angle. Can a one-person online business really replace a full-time salary? So have a read through of these. like a one-person business versus agency, the honest comparison after building both. So it knows my story because I've been using this large language model, and it's feeding everything in from the analytics, adding your story in the direction of travel, and then building you out something that is going to be truly yours. So what I would do now is take one of these videos, which one you're going to be creating first, plug it into YouTube just to see what is resulting, and then have a look to see what people are talking about. So if it was a one-person business model versus an agency, see what other people are talking about this topic and how you can put your spin on it and make it yours. And then what you could say to your large language model is you could go back into the chat, take that title and say, hey, I'm going to be working with this title. Give me some variations. So it will work on the variations, and then finally pick the one you like. Then with that, you can then say, hey, I'm going to create a video with this title, and this is my target keyword. Just help me build out a hook and an intro, and I can take it from there. Or if you use a teleprompter, you just say script out this entire video for me to create for my YouTube channel. Honestly, the limitations are your imagination in this day and age. So using AI to leverage and get 80% of the way there to then put a human in the loop and then create something that is truly yours. So there we have it. That is how to use AI, a model of your choice, to interrogate your YouTube studio analytics, identify what's working, identify what's not, and then co-create a list of video titles, working titles for you to then go and create from. But if you're new to YouTube and you haven't created that much in terms of content, just use AI to interrogate what you have. And if you're still striving to monetize your channel and go past the 1,000 subscriber mark, I've got a free gift for you. As you've stayed all the way to the end, it's my free guide to you. Head to timpeakman.com/YouTube. This is just going to give you a bit of a strategy on how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. What I would do if I was starting a channel all over again. That link once more, timpeakman.com/YouTube. It's a simple downloadable checklist. Get access today. So hopefully this video has made sense to you and provided you with some value of ways forward if you are stuck. Leave me a comment down below if you have any specific questions, and I look forward to seeing you on the very next one.